Working the night shift is always creepy. You learn to expect strange noises, flickering lights, and the occasional weirdo. But this was different. My name is Tyler, and this is the true story of why I quit working nights. After one terrifying encounter, it was a Sunday night. I was alone at the gas station from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Small place, middle of nowhere, just a pump station, a snack shop, and flickering lights that made everything feel older than it was. Around 2:30 a.m. it was dead quiet. Not a single car on the road. I was doing inventory in the back when I heard the door chime. I walked out front and saw him. A man standing outside, not at the door, just standing still near pump 3. He wasn't moving. No car, no bag, no phone, just staring straight at the building. I flipped on the outside lights. He didn't flinch. I tapped the window. Still nothing. So I picked up the phone and called non-emergency police just in case. While waiting, I checked the security cameras. That's when I realized something was off. The outside camera for pump 3 was black, like it wasn't recording, but all the others worked fine. I rebooted the system. Nothing changed. I switched to live view, and he was gone. Just vanished. Then the chime rang again. I turned toward the door, and he was standing inside. No sound, no steps. Just there. I froze. He slowly looked at me, expressionless, pale skin, dark eyes. He whispered, "This is where it happened." I blinked, and he was gone again. The next moment, 2 officers pulled into the lot. I told the cops everything. They searched the building, found nothing. When I asked to check the tapes, there was no footage. Not just from that hour, the entire night was wiped. One of the cops looked uneasy. He said, "You know what's weird? A man was murdered at this station, right in front of pump 3, about 15 years ago. That was the last night I ever worked there." Sometimes it's not about what you see. It's about what doesn't show up on camera, and what shows up when it's already too late.
The sun had barely dipped below the horizon when Nathan and Sarah arrived at the remote cabin, hugging the edge of a forest surrounded by towering pines. They rented through Airbnb. It was the perfect escape from their bustling city life, at least on paper. The first sign that something was amiss appeared when their phones had no signal. Not a single bar. Nathan shrugged it off, claiming it to be part of the rustic charm, teasing Sarah about her obsession with social media. But the lack of GPS signal was more troubling. The coordinates they followed led them here. Yet when they tried to confirm the location on Google Maps, it showed them somewhere in the middle of nowhere, literally. It was as if the cabin didn't exist. Remote perhaps, but surely not invisible. Sarah muttered under her breath, a nervous edge creeping into her tone. Inside, the cabin was quaint and welcoming warm wooden interiors, a crackling fireplace, and an aura of homey comfort. It calmed their unease, at least temporarily. Time passed swiftly as they explored the cabin, until their attention was drawn to the peculiar absence of the listing on Airbnb. When they tried to check their booking details, no trace whatsoever. The cabin seemed to have vanished from the digital world. As twilight darkened into pitch black night, an unexpected knock echoed ominously through the cabin. Nathan and Sarah froze. The knocking continued steadily and deliberately. Their pulses racing, Nathan peered out of a window. Darkness swallowed everything but the faint outline of a figure at the door. "Who let you in?" the voice called out, low and guttural, resonating with an air of authority. Neither of them answered. "Ooh, I think we should go," Sarah whispered, her voice barely concealing the panic. Suddenly the lights flickered once, twice, and died, plunging them into suffocating darkness. The knocking grew louder, more insistent. "Who let you in?" repeated the voice, closer now, as if the very walls whispered the words. Determined to face the unknown, Nathan grabbed an old flashlight from above the fireplace and pushed the door open. The figure, a shadowy silhouette, retreated just out of range of the trembling beam. Sarah huddled behind Nathan. "Please, who are you?" she stammered, her voice echoing in the night. "Leave this place," it whispered through the silent air. The shadow turned, fading into the trees.
In the small town of Willow Creek, where misty fog hugged the hills closely each night, Emily lived alone in a quaint cottage at the edge of the woods. A freelance graphic designer, she enjoyed solitude and the serenity offered by the whispering winds and scattered rustling leaves. Around 3 a.m. each night, a chilling sound dispersed from her doorbell cam. An old melody permeated her dreams, rousing her from sleep. The music carried an unsettling hymn, growing louder until the doorbell's notification chime followed. Initially, she dismissed it as interference or a glitch, but curiosity soon got the better of her. On the third night, with breath held and heart thumping, 3:17 a.m. arrived. Emily peered anxiously into her phone. There he was. A man stood eerily still just beyond her doorsteps. His lean silhouette was wrapped in shadows, his face obscured under a wide-brimmed hat. For nights he returned, unwavering in his nocturnal vigil. Emily's anxiety grew into fear. She contacted the police, presenting them the nightly occurrence. Desperately needing confirmation, she encouraged them to view the recording. To her horror, their screens showed nothing, a mere dark night, devoid of melody and specter. Determined to solve the mystery, Emily set up multiple cameras encircling her abode, hoping different angles might capture the elusive visitor. Her efforts were met with identical dismay, each film barren of his presence. Against the backdrop of false peace, the doorbell chimed again. Heart pounding, Emily sat upright, staring into the screen that reluctantly obeyed. There he was, his eyes meeting hers directly, a gaze so cold and timeless it suffocated her. Summoning courage entwined with desperation, Emily descended into the aged cellar, guided by the man's intangible pull. There she unearthed an odd, dust-bound tome,